And I'm live. Okay, so in this demo, I'm going to be showing how to model the Lockheed Super Hercules. Now, as usual, before you start the model, you need to get a good reference. So I already prepared a reference in Maya already, so I don't want to go through the entire process because I've described this in my previous videos. Before you start modeling, one of the first things that is very important is to get as many image references as possible. Now, the particular aircraft that I'm modeling is the Lockheed C-130J, the latest and most advanced version of their transporter aircraft. And generally, aircraft are quite straightforward and easy to do. And this aircraft, if we look at the drawings, okay, consists of a mainly cylindrical body with a flat wing, flat stabilizer, and a vertical fin with 4 engines, and its brand new scimitar propeller blades. Now, the only challenging area which I find for this particular aircraft would be the greenhouse cockpit. Okay, the greenhouse cockpit, right, will take a little bit more attention to model. So in this image that I found on the internet, you can see the detail here. So these are the holes, right, that will be required to be modeled a little bit more carefully. But let's just start with modeling the main body first. Okay, so I'm going to start off with a cylinder. As with all aircraft, we're going to start off with possibly maybe a 12-sided cylinder. And then I'm going to rotate this cylinder 90 degrees. Okay, I'm going to switch over my viewport to X-ray so that I can view through. And then I'm going to position this cylinder until it matches the approximate thickness of the aircraft. Next, I'll just scale this sideways. And then move the cylinder until it fits the approximate length of the aircraft. Okay, now the next thing you want to do is to search for the cross-section or the outline of the aircraft where there is a change. That's where I'm going to insert edge loops and do the scaling. So going to edge mode, shift right mouse click, insert edge loop. I'm going to insert one edge loop here. Okay, and then every time you insert an edge loop, it's a good idea to start to scale and move. Okay, so like this edge loop, scale, and move. Okay, I want to maintain the thickness of this cockpit here. So again, over here, I'm going to insert one more edge loop. Okay, and then right over here where there's a transition for the ramp, the rear of the aircraft. So going back to the edge again, and then insert the edge loop. Okay, and then again, I'm going to grab all these vertices and then just want to scale them down uniformly and then bring it up. Okay, so there's a big transition here. I'm going to insert one edge loop right about here. And again, just scale it down and then push it up. So far, I'm only working on the side view. Okay, so you need to switch over to the top view as well to ensure that the width is actually matching. And in this case, you can realize that the rear ramp is not wide enough. Yeah, I'll need to adjust my reference here. I need to push this reference so that the center line is matching. Okay, so now back to the cylinder again. So right now, this edge loop section here, I need to scale it, but this time I'm going to scale it just along the x-axis and then scale it up right along here. And for the nose section here, again, I'm going to just use the scale along the x-axis and scale it here. Now, you'll notice that there is a taper that goes around here. I'm going to insert one edge loop right about here, following the panel lines, grabbing the vertices and scale it down. And scale it down. This one uniformly. And then just going to push it in a little bit. Okay, my reference again is slightly off. I just going to readjust this again. Push it a little bit to the left. And okay. So now it is lined up. All right, so my top view and side view. Now, I realized that the width of this, the tail of the aircraft is also slightly wider, so I need another edge loop here. So I'm going to insert one edge loop. And then I'm going to just widen this area a little bit. Okay, I'm going to shift my reference again a little bit to the right. No, reference. Okay, so now I'm satisfied with this. Top view looks about right. Go to the right view and check it out again. Now, the Charlie 130 has a very unique nose. This area actually, I believe, contains the radar, so we have to insert an edge loop right about here so that we can scale it up to model this section. Okay, you can use slide edge tool to move the edge loops forward a little bit here, and then let's scale this up. Okay, now for the belly section, I'm going to grab the vertices, just these two vertices, and then just going to push it up until it matches the width of the belly. And finally, one more edge loop around here just to create the rounded section. And then just move it up until it forms the shape. So every time you insert an edge loop, the rule here is you move the newly added vertices. Now I'm going to check my front and then just to verify. Now my front view reference also needs to be adjusted. I'm just going to push it to the side so that it matches the reference. Okay, my red lines are a little bit off. Okay, so now let's check. Okay, so now you can see the aircraft is actually much wider on the side. And we can just grab all the vertices and then just make it slightly wider. And I suspect maybe my reference might be slightly off because my right view, my side view is a little bit, the scale is a little bit off. So let me just try to fix this first by just verifying. Okay, let me just turn off my X-ray for now. And it appears that maybe my side view scale is a little bit off. There is some slight distortion going on with my vertex. Okay, I think, yes, okay, now I know what's happened because it was in subdivided mode, that's why it was distorted. All right, so there's actually nothing wrong with the reference is correct. I'm gonna put it back. Okay, let me just go to the front view again and then switch over to my X-ray view. And let's see. Okay, so just now I made the mistake of scaling this group of vertices, so I'm gonna rescale it back. And then move my reference to the correct position again. Okay, yeah, so everything looks about right now. So just now I accidentally subdivided this image plane. And this goes to show you that you must always, once you're happy with the image plane location, put them in a layer and lock it so that you will not touch it anymore. So I'm happy with my block shape of the Charlie 130. Now if you look at the Charlie 130, you can see that the wing is literally attached, okay, to the body. So you have a choice of whether you want to model the wing extruding out from the plane, or you can model the wings separately and then sticking onto the plane. Okay, so now in anything that is mechanical, it is perfectly all right to actually model the aircraft separately in pieces and then just put them together. Okay, but if you want the transition to be smoother, you can try to model it as one piece. It'll be a little bit more challenging, but it is possible. So what I'm going to do right now, I'm just going to go to my right view. I'm going to just look carefully where the wing root starts. And I can see that there's a panel line. This edge loop that's run across this panel line. and it gives me enough area here to extrude out the wing. So this panel line is good enough for me. But here you can see the front engines is obscuring the wing, so I don't know where the wing actually starts. So I'm going to use my top reference to see, okay, the wing root actually starts here. But if you look carefully here, there is this webbing or this support structure, right, that's actually supporting the wing. And you can see that it starts from here at the rear, and then over here it starts at this section here. Okay, I'm going to select my aircraft, and then I'm going to the fuselage, I'm going to insert a couple of edge loops. I want to insert one edge loop here, and then one edge loop. There's one edge loop already inserted here. So that's good enough for me. So at this stage, when I'm about to do the wing, what I'll do is I'll just delete away half of the aircraft because I don't really need. I don't wish to model both wings individually. So I'm going to use a technique which I'm going to apply a duplicate special. So what I did was I deleted like the half of the aircraft body and deleted it. And then I'm going to duplicate special and create a mirror in the x-axis. So that when I extrude the wing on the right-hand side, it is going to come out on the left-hand side. Or in the left-hand side, then come out on the right-hand side. Okay, so I have the two sections here, and roughly I knew that these are the faces that I need to select to pull out the wings. I can see the structure here. That's where the wing actually comes out. Okay, so in order to create this cross section here, which we call the airfoil, this is very important. If you want to model a wing that looks like a wing, you really need to model this cross section. Okay, most beginner models I've seen don't have this shape. So this shape is very important. This is actually what makes an aircraft fly. You notice the curve upwards and then the slightly flatter curve at the bottom. So this is called the airfoil shape, which we need to replicate. So what I did was I inserted another edge loop here so that I have enough faces. Normally I use about 4 faces, minimum 4 faces, right, in order to create the wing. So right now I selected these 4 faces. So these 4 faces are going to act as my wing root. So with these 4 faces selected, I'm going to shift right mouse click and extrude the faces. Okay, and then I'm going to press W and pull out the new faces. Just pull out slightly a little bit. You can pull them out as much as you want, and then you can just use the scale tool to flatten them, and then push them back. And then we are going to reshape this to make this wing support structure here. Right? So now we got this new vertices that are being extruded. We are going to reshape them now. So we're going to go to the top view, and actually it'll be easier, right, to split your views into two, layouts into 2 panes side by side, and then I'm going to press on the 6 so that you have both the top view and the side view at the same time. I'm going to switch over this into X-ray view. And then I'm going to judge, okay, where am I going to shift these vertices? Okay, right now this vertex, I'm going to push it back a little bit. And this vertex here, I'm going to push it in. These vertices, push it in a little bit. Basically, I want to create this wing support structure, which you see over here. And then maybe this vertex, I'm going to push it back. Okay, so that I form this very rough approximation of this support structure. So this part is done now. I'm going back here. I'm going to grab this vertex here. I'm going to pull it back. And this vertex over here, I'm going to push it forward. And I'm going to go to my side view. This vertex, I'm going to just pull it down a little bit. And this one should form the basis of the wing. Okay, I'm going to put this one here, and then this vertex, I'm going to put this one here. I'm forming the support structure, this piece here. Now, if you take a look at the photograph of the actual plane, okay, let me see where I can find a side view. Use use image search under the tools size, increase the large size so that you can filter out all those large images. So I'm just trying to search for one image that is lit properly. Okay, maybe this is just a drawing. So the area which I'm actually looking at is this section here. Right. So I'm trying to model this area. So for now I'm just blocking it out. Okay. So block out this section, and then this top part section here is I can't really see from side because it's being blocked by the engine. So this one I have to wing it literally. Okay, sorry for the pun. Okay, so now these extruded vertices, I have to push it up to form the root of the wing. So this group of edges here will form the beginning of the wing. If I go to the top view, okay, with the edges selected, I need to push these section back until it forms the root of the wing. And likewise, the tail of the wing, the back of the wing. Okay, now I just grab these vertices to flatten it to form the airfoil shape first. Now this is the edge of the wing. The edge of the wing, which starts from here in the top view, should start right here. Okay, I'll push this to the side a little bit. Just some minor adjustments. Okay, so now let's go back to perspective, full perspective view, and let's take a look at our handiwork. And always save your file, increment and save. If I select these faces, you can see that they form the airfoil shape already. I'm going to refine it a little bit better. I'm going to go to the right view. Okay, I'm going to grab the vertices and move it to where the wing actually starts. Okay, I'm going to shape this wing so that it looks like a bigger version of this cross section here. And notice that we can see actually the lower portion of the wing here, so we can follow this. Okay. And the curve structure here. So if I select the face, you can see now the cross section looks almost exactly like this wing here. Again, now we can start to extrude our wing. So let's go to perspective view. The face is selected, extrude. I'm going to press W to just move the wing out. I'm going to use scale. Select the end faces here. Use scale to flatten it. Right. So let's go to the top view, and then let's take a look. Okay, now you see that we should extrude the wing parallel until it reaches here, because the wings start to taper until to this tip here. Now, once this bit is extruded, let's take a look at the front view. Okay, the front reference is looking okay. I think perhaps my front reference needs to be lower down a little bit. Let me just unlock it and just move it down slightly so that it matches the position of the wing. Okay. All right, so the thickness is quite constant here, but you can notice as if we go to the wingtip will start to taper. So let's go to the top view. Go back to the face selection mode. I'm going to select the same faces that form the cross section of the wing. And then I'm going to shift right mouse click, extrude. I'm going to press W, and then I'm going to move until it reaches the wingtip. Then I'm going to use uniform scale, go to the center of the uniform scale and scale it down until it matches about the length of the wingtip. Then use the move tool, W, and then move it until it matches the shape of the wing. Go to the front view, right? Move the wing up until it follows the angle of the wing. And again, use scale tool, but this time scale only in the Z-axis until it follows this taper. I'll go to the top view now. We need to extrude another small section so that we can form this rounded wingtip. So these faces are still selected. So shift right mouse click and extrude another small section. And then I'm going to go to the top view and scale it down. Okay, but I'm not going to use the extrusion manipulator to scale. I'm just going to use normal scale. part and then scale it down and position it into place. Okay, let me just grab all these vertices and just scale them up slightly a little bit and move them into place. Of course, we will come back and refine this later. I'm going to flatten these edges. Okay, so we have our wing. So this is a blocked out version of the Charlie 130. And now what about the horizontal stabilizer and the vertical stabilizer? Now to be honest, for this one, rather than just extrude them out, which I can, I will just build them separately and then I'll just stick them to the side. So to build this horizontal stabilizer, you can build them out from a box. So I'm going to create a cube, polygon cube, okay, and I'm going to give them about 2 subdivisions each. Right, so I got a cube now, and I'm going to delete away half of the faces of the cube. Delete it away because I want to use the same technique again. Duplicate special, edit, duplicate special. I'm going to do that in object mode first. Then I'm going to grab all the faces. Now, before I do that, I'm going to go to object mode first and select both these duplicates and push it to the back. Go to the top view. Position them roughly around the same position as the stabilizer. Go to the right view. Move it up until it's about the same position. Top view again. And then go to edit mode. Okay, grab the vertices and then position them roughly in place. Okay, so now, same thing. We are going to reshape this until it matches this airfoil shape. So we're going to scale this down. Okay, grab these 2 front vertices and then position them forward. Slide these vertices towards the end and scale it down. Slide these vertices and scale it down until you got the shape. Okay, now go to the top view. Grab the vertices at the end here, then pull it out. And then using scale it until it's flat like that. Not really flat, but until it matches the shape. So we're just blocking this out first. And we're going to grab these and then move it out slightly so that it matches the cross section of the wing, or rather the stabilizer. So now we have the stabilizer done, blocked out. And actually for the, okay, this is the open edge so that we can just push this inwards. We're just going to manually connect this in for now. Okay, right now I'm doing some fine tuning to the edges. Okay, so now we have a airfoil shape, okay, that is blocked out. And you can see this is just an ordinary cube. Now, for the vertical stabilizer, okay, you can just duplicate one of the horizontal stabilizer and then just rotate this 90 degrees and we will modify this into the vertical stabilizer. So I'm going to go to the front view, grab this horizontal stabilizer, or what used to be the horizontal stabilizer, and move it down until it is positioned. Okay, and then I'm going to select the bottom vertices and flatten them and also scale it outwards. Okay, so now in the right view, we're going to insert one edge hook here so that we can pull out this ventral fin. Okay, before I do that, I'm going to scale this out until I match the shape of the vertical stabilizer. Now, how do I do this ventral fin? The ventral fin is very simple. All you need to do is insert one edge loop right over here. Okay, and then I'm just going to insert a couple of edge loops so that later when I subdivide, there's a corner here that will show the vertex. Then I'm going to grab these two vertices here and then push it forward. And then we have our ventral fin. Basically, this is how you block out the aircraft. Okay, of course, we still need to go to the top view and adjust the vertices so that it matches the cross section from the top point of view. Okay, so I think my reference is a bit off, but you have to use your judgment for that. I'm going to increment and save this. And okay, so this is the blocked out shape of the Charlie 130. Now let's take a look at the windows. Okay, I'm going to go to X-ray view again. Okay, for the windows, right, we will have no choice but to use the multi-cut tool actually to cut out the sections that form the windows and then later remove the faces. So I'm going to start by using the multi-cut tool and then just following the reference to cut out the actually I should cut up to here. Let me just press enter first. Let me just undo. Okay, let's do that again. Start from this edge, cut to here, and cut from here all the way to here. Maybe I will just end here for now. Okay, I will worry about these multi-sided faces later, but now I will have to reposition my vertices to match the location of the greenhouse cockpit. Okay, I'm gonna move my topology lines, the edge loops to match the panel lines. Okay, we've got a three-sided face here, which we can later insert an edge loop to fix. Okay, we've got a multi-sided face, a five-sided face. So I'm gonna cut from here to here to fix this topology first. Okay, press Q to go to select and then move to reshape this section here. Okay, so now we have the faces that form the windows. Let me go to the front view. Okay, the front view, especially this section here, this one contains another small little window here. You can verify by looking at the actual photograph. Okay, so there's a small window here, and there's a central window here. So I want to replicate this small window, so I'm just going to move this vertex here. And I'm going to use the multi-cut tool again, and this time I'm going to cut from here. Okay, this one looks a little bit confusing from here. Let me just stop this operation. Go to the right view instead. And okay, so I'm going to cut from here to here. And again, I'm going to follow the panel lines all the way down here. Okay, so basically what I want to do is I want to make sure that I have enough faces, right, to form this little window here. So now I'm going to shift this vertex. I want to find out where this vertex is. Maybe put it at a corner here. And okay, perhaps I want to insert one edge over here. And then just nice, I have a three-sided face here. I can insert one edge too. Just put it down here first. And now I have enough. Okay, maybe one more edge loop right about here. Okay, so now I have the faces to form the windows. So for this major big greenhouse window, what you can do is you can select all these faces and delete them away. We're going to create this big hole here, and we are basically just going to build this framework, and then we're going to stick it back onto the fuselage. I'm going to spread out these edge loops because I don't like to have edge loops that are too close together. You can use the vertex slide method to spread this out, or the slide edge loop tool to do that. That's fine. Okay, so let's take a look at it in shaded mode first. And you can also go to the front view to adjust to the top view. Okay, so now I'm repositioning them to make sure it matches the orientation of the windows. So we have one section here that is actually gone down a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select this edge here, and I'm going to extrude one edge and pull it down here. Okay, I think that I selected the wrong edge. Let me just try that again. And to select the other edge. Okay, I need to select this edge. And I'm going to pull this down. Okay, come on. Select this. Just zoom in a little bit. This edge here. Okay, this edge is not cooperating. Okay, this one, yes. All right, so this edge here, I'm going to go to the front view. I'm going to pull this edge down and it forms this section. So now I have the holes and the cavities to form the, to actually build this glass house canopy. So what I'm going to do is this. There's this trick you can try. You can select this edge here. I'm going to select from this edge to this open edge. Okay, one more time, let's try again. This edge to this edge, then holding down the shift, and then I'm going to extrude the edge, and then pull out one small frame. Okay, make sure I'm pulling out in the right direction, like this. Okay, basically what I want to do is I just want to extract this portion here. I'm going to build my framework out of these faces. So with this faces selected, go to edit mesh, detach. Okay, so now it's detached, then we go to mesh and separate. So this is what I'm going to use. Okay, when you notice when I separate the faces, my duplicate special is gone. So not a problem. So based on this framework, right, we can start to build our windows. Okay, so let's see. There is a row that actually separates the windows from here to here. So while it's still connected, I'm going to go to insert a couple of edge loops. No, not on this. I want to be working on this one. Yes. So a couple of edge loops here. And maybe one edge loop here. And then I'm going to, okay, right now I'm just experimenting. So select this face and this face, and I'm going to bridge it. Okay, there's a twist going on. Let me just, okay, it's not working for me. I'm going to try this edge. I'm going to delete away these faces first, and then I'm going to try again. Select this edge, and bridge. And bridge this one as well. Okay. Okay, basically I'm creating the structure here. Press G to repeat last command. So now I've built a connecting structure across here. It might be a little bit too high for my liking, but so we can just select the vertices and move it down. Eventually, you can just insert a couple of edge loops and then connect to build the columns to build out basically this greenhouse. Through the edge, use the global and extrude. Well, actually, it makes more sense to just grab this face, but since I've done this, okay, so I think this might be not a very efficient way to do things. But what I'll do, I'm gonna just leave the framework there for now. Okay, but I'm gonna use another method. That is to position flat square shapes around, and then connect them later on. Or actually, let me just connect these two first. Bridge them here first. Bridge these two, okay? And I want to get rid of these edge loops. Just keep it clean first. Control delete. Control delete. Make sure you select this object, and I'm going to select the upper side here, the upper border, and then I'm going to fill up this hole first. I'm going to create this giant multi-sided face. Okay, so I'm going to use the multi-cut tool to actually cut out the framework. So I'll start by cutting from here to here. Okay, and then I'll go to the right view. And then press enter. So maybe this is a much better way to do things. Yeah, I think this is a much better way. Use the multi-cut tool to help me create the holes first. And at bottom here, create the framework. All right. Then with all these new vertices, I'm just gonna position them in the yeah, I should have done this right from the beginning. So anyway, modeling is about experimentation, finding your way around. Because there's no one perfect way to get things done. Okay, let's do another section that I need to multi-cut from here to here. Yeah. Okay, so you can see that my top view, right, my initial rocking model, I did not position it properly, so that this area is actually incorrect. Okay, so I should have pushed this in a little bit more to form this circular round section, so which I did not do. So right now, I have this mistake that I need to fix. But anyway, you guys get the idea. Like when you are modeling this complex cockpit around here, you have to shift this bottom sections in first. Okay, let me see whether I can fix this. I'm going to select this object. I'm going to put it in another layer first. And grab this vertex, push it in. This one should be here. Okay, so now I'm just gonna unhide that glass cockpit, or rather the greenhouse windows, and I'll attempt to try to move them in. So it should be these group of vertices. Yeah, and then just move them in a little bit. Okay, so the idea is once you have this framework, okay, and you can see there's a mess that's going on here. Coming out a little bit more. Once you have this framework, it's much easier, right, for you to just create the windows or extrude them out. Okay, but the initial stage where you create the framework has to be positioned properly, which I didn't do earlier on from my top view. So now I'm ended up with this mess here, but it's still salvageable. So it really depends on the position of your reference. So if your reference, right, isn't positioned properly, you're going to end up with alignment issues. Okay, so now I got this framework. Okay, so this will take some time to fix, but I'm not going to keep this video going on forever, so I'm going to just temporarily delete away these faces. On second thought, let me just assign a new material for these faces, assign a new material. So that they stand out from the rest. Okay, let me just attributes. Let's give it a blue color. Okay, probably gonna spend hours, right? Gonna fix this. Not hours, okay, maybe a few more minutes, right? Tweaking this. So I'm gonna switch back to X-ray mode. Switch off the X-ray mode. Okay, now this face is split, so I select this face and display and then reverse it. Okay. It's not looking perfect, at least not yet. So again, this is only a blocking stage. So we have the Windows model out. I'm going to duplicate special again. And this one also duplicate special. Okay, but you can roughly see now the aircraft. Also the work will be on the Windows areas. Now for the engine nacelles, the propellers and all that, right, this should be quite straightforward to do. For the undercarriage section here, this area can be extruded out from the side, okay, using these faces here, or you can model a separate piece and then stick it to the side, just like what I did for the vertical stabilizer. Okay, so I'm going to end the stream here because I think it's gone long enough. This is how I would approach modeling aircraft like the C-130. Yes, notice this wing tip here needs to be a little bit tighter, so just go and fix that. Okay, so that's it from me.